Welcome to the One Place East Talking Newsletter for August 2026, edition number 39. So page 1, as per usual, we have a header at the top. This month's header is not actually a picture, it's just a mixture of different colours that look like smoke, but they are all very bright colours, so pink, green, yellow, red and blue. And then overlaid on top of that, to the top right hand side, we have bold white text which reads Newsletter August 2026, and on the left hand side at the top we have a One Place East logo in white. The centre image this month is usually 3 images, but this month it's only 1, and it is of our group shot which was taken at the end of the day of the Disability Festival in the park. So there's about, I'd say, 20 people in the photo. They are all standing in front of the One Place East tent that was available on the day, and most people are smiling, and those that are not, I think, were just captured at the wrong point in the photograph. And then underneath that we have text which reads, Celebrating Inclusion at the Disability Festival 2026. Hundreds of people came together on Wednesday the 22nd of July 2026 for the Disability Festival, a vibrant celebration of inclusion, community and opportunity. The festival welcomed disabled people, families, carers, community organisations, volunteers and local residents for a day packed with entertainment, activities and opportunities to connect. Visitors enjoyed live performances, interactive experiences and the chance to discover the wide range of services and support available across the area. As the lead organisation behind the event, One Place East was proud to coordinate and deliver the festival, working in close partnership with CMPM, Events and Joy, CFDN, Redbridge Council and Well Enterprises. The successes of the day reflected the commitment, collaboration and shared vision of all partners who worked together to create a welcoming and accessible event for everybody. And then on the right hand side we have a green text box with white text which reads the contents of the newsletter. So Disability Festival continued, pages 2 and 3, Redbridge Outdoor Arts, page 5, Walk With Us, page 6, Accessible Transport Event Feedback, pages 9 and 10, and OPEC, which is One Place East for Change, Tim's Review Report, page 11. And that is the end of the first page. So pages 2 and 3 are a continuation of the first page. So we have a number of images, so it's like a 2-page spread. There's probably about 10 images on the page, like sort of just spaced out around the text, of various different points of the day. So for example, we have one of Manjit and Natalie, who work for One Place East, standing in front of a Disability Festival in the Park banner, both looking very happy. There is a shot from the front of the stage of loads of people in the crowd. Quite a few of them have got their hands up in the air, look like they're having a good time dancing. There's a couple of people that are performing, so there's someone with a microphone in their hand on stage looking super passionate about whatever he's performing. There's 2 DJs with their thumbs up, with headphones on, standing in front of some decks. There's people with different inflatable props, who again, everybody in every photo is smiling, looking happy. And if you did come along on the day, you'll know that it really was just a special day. So the continuation of the text is, throughout the festival, attendees explored a variety of stalls showcasing local services, community projects and support networks. The event provided an important platform for organisations to share information, promote opportunities and celebrate the achievements and contributions of disabled people within our communities. One of the standout features of the day was the positive and inclusive atmosphere. People came together to make new connections, enjoy the entertainment and take part in activities designed to ensure everyone could participate. The festival highlighted the importance of accessibility, equality and the value of creating spaces where everyone feels they belong. The event also demonstrated the strength of partnership working across the voluntary, community and public sectors. By bringing together organisations with a shared commitment to inclusion, the Disability Festival showcased what can be achieved when communities collaborate to break down barriers and create opportunities. A special thank you goes to One Place East's very own Andy Murphy and of course Mark Nicholas, in brackets Laugh Able, whose comedy tent was a huge hit. Mark's commitment to showcasing disabled talent and creating opportunities through comedy brought laughter, confidence and connection, adding another fantastic dimension to the event. One Place East would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of our staff and volunteers. From the months of planning beforehand to the hard work on the day itself, your dedication, enthusiasm and commitment helped ensure the festival ran smoothly and remained welcoming, accessible and enjoyable for everyone who attended. Events of this scale would simply not be possible without your incredible support. Special thanks also goes to our partners at CMPM, Events and Joy, CFDN, Redbridge Council and Well Enterprises, whose dedication, collaboration and teamwork helped make the event such a memorable success. The Disability Festival 2026 was more than just a day of celebration. It was a powerful reminder of the importance of working together to build communities where disabled people are valued, included and able to thrive. As a lead organisation, One Place East is incredibly proud to have played a central role in bringing this inspiring event to life. Roll on 2027. So that is the end of pages 2 and page 3. Page 4 is a 4-page flyer for our self-development series of workshops. So that's One Place East, and it's part of our run-up mental health service. So this was actually featured in last month, so you might remember it. But it's wellbeing workshops for your mental health, a journey of empowerment, which are trauma-informed sessions to support you in the world today. So it's a 4-part different series, but part 1 has already been done. So part 2 is the alchemy of anger, which is exploring triggers, experience and transmuting anger into healthy life force energy. Then we have the power of grief, which is explore the purpose and power of grief and how to find peace in the moment. Then we have empowerment of self-love, which is bringing your understanding together to find the beauty and empowerment in self-love and acceptance. So each module is covered over 2 days and can be attended individually, so you don't have to attend all different 3 workshops. But as it's a series, each module does build upon the previous module's topic, but it's not essential that you have to attend them all. So therefore, we encourage you to attend all modules to allow for greater personal development. So all of them take place. So the first workshop of each one is on a Monday and the second is on a Wednesday of the same week. From 10:30 until 3:30 at the One Place East office. But this is a hybrid event, so you are also able to join online via Zoom if you would rather do it that way, but there are limited slots available. So Alchemy of Anger is Monday the 7th and Wednesday the 9th of September. The Power of Grief is Monday the 9th and Wednesday the 11th of November. And Empowerment of Self-Love is Monday the 14th and Wednesday the 16th of December. So if you would like to book or you would like more information, you can visit tinyurl.com/eventsope. You can phone the One Place East office or Sue on her mobile at 07939 975 763, or you can email runup@oneplaceeast.org. So do get in contact with Sue if you want some more information or you would like to book. Equally, anyone in the office can support you to book online if that's what you would prefer. And there is a QR code on the bottom right-hand side of the page that will take you directly to the booking link. And that is the end of page 4. So page 5 is another frequent return for the One Place East newsletter. So we have Redbridge Outdoor Arts present Rotes by Stopgap Dance Company. So the top of the page, there is a very vibrant image of 5 people. So the first one in the line is actually in a wheelchair. And then the others are kind of standing behind with their hands, their right arms on the back of the person in front, kind of leaning forward. All in very vibrant colours, looking very concentrated on their performance. So Rotes is, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that, is RO-TES, is a joyful, exhilarating outdoor dance show choreographed by disabled artist and wheelchair dancer Nadine Perrin and Stopgap Dance Company. It's a celebration of journeys, where we come from, how we move through the world and who we travel with. Inspired by Nadine's Cambodian heritage, the show transforms his adapted wheelchair into something extraordinary. A rotes meaning wagon in Khmer, Khmer. Again, I don't know how you're meant to pronounce that. Hopefully I've done it right. The language of Cambodia. It becomes a way for 5 world-class deaf, disabled and non-disabled performers to share bold movement, irresistible rhythms and true moments of joy together. Expect a celebration that will surprise and delight audiences of all ages. The shows are free, 30-minute long, and take place outdoors in a relaxed environment where you're free to make noise and respond. Seating is provided and there is an access information point at all shows. There is no need to book a ticket, just turn up. There's an audio flyer, introduction, script and visual story that are available. Please contact Sarah on culture@visionrcl.org.uk for more information, and there will also be a touch tour before each show. So, upcoming performances. Saturday the 22nd of August at Ken Aston Square in Barkingside. Performance times are 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. And then on Sunday the 23rd of August in Ilford Town Centre, which I believe is just in front of the Town Hall, we have a 1 p.m. and a 3 p.m. Showing. So just to make a point, both Sunday shows are BSL interpreted. You can check out the full programme through to September 2026 by scanning the QR code, which is on the bottom left-hand side of the page. We're sort of in the centre actually, but at the bottom. And it says you can follow Redbridge Arts on Facebook and Instagram at Redbridge Arts. So I know that quite a few people from One Place East, staff, volunteers and service users have attended previous ones because they do have them frequently and we do often advertise in the newsletter. And from what I've been told, I mean, I've never been myself, they are really enjoyable to attend. So if you are available on any of those days, please do try and make it down there if you can. And that is the end of page 5. Page 6 is an update for our wheelchair forum. So top left of the page is a logo for the wheelchair forum, which is of a symbol of a person in a wheelchair directed towards the right hand side, and they look like, the symbol looks like their arms are about to start pushing the wheels of the wheelchair. And underneath we have black text which reads wheelchair forum, and then like a dark bluey teal that says empowering mobility. And then top right hand side there is an image of 5 people sat around a table which looks like 3 of the 5 are in wheelchairs, and they're all having a discussion around the table. And then on top of that there is a box which reads wheelchair forum highlights progress and priorities for service improvement. Underneath we have black text which reads wheelchair users and carers recently met with representatives from AJM Healthcare to discuss local wheelchair services and help shape future improvements. AJM Healthcare shared updates on organisational changes, including a new leadership team and plans to improve the communication through digital tools while maintaining telephone and postal options. Communication and repairs were key topics, with attendees highlighting issues such as missed appointments, repair delays and difficulties obtaining replacement parts. Users called for better communication, improved stock management and greater availability of loan wheelchairs. The group also discussed expanding the wheelchair passport to include equipment details and repair history. Concerns about clinical assessments and accessibilities at some assessment centres were raised, with AJM agreeing to review these issues and investigate possible improvements. AJM acknowledged areas where improvements are needed and committed to several actions, including reviewing call handling processes, developing communication systems, and introducing a "you said, we did" update at future meetings. The meeting highlighted the value of ongoing engagement between wheelchair users and service providers. By working together, participants identified practical ways to improve services and ensure wheelchair users' experiences remain at the heart of future developments. And then underneath that we have a blue box with white text for the next meeting dates. So meetings take place on the second Monday of every month from 2 to 4 p.m. The next meeting dates are the 10th of August, the 14th of September and the 12th of October 2026. Venues are to be confirmed. I believe the October one will be at City Gates Church, but August and September we're still trying to work out a venue. So for more information or to get involved, contact Lisa or Rupal on the One Place East office number, or you can email wheelchairforum@oneplaceeast.org. And then underneath it says this meeting is supported by One Place East, AJM Healthcare and the City Gates Church. So this is an independent group. However, obviously One Place East are very much supporting Lisa and Rupal, who are the co-chairs of this forum, to, publicise and to try and find meeting venues, etc. So it is a very independent group. And that is the end of page 6. Page 7 is split into 2 parts. So top part, we have a flyer for Drew Yoga and Mindfulness with Mary Griffiths for the body and soul. That will be on Tuesday the 18th of August from 11 until 12:30pm, held at the One Place East office. It is suitable for all ages and abilities, and it says improve your health and well-being with some gentle fun, lively movements using a wonderful blend of seated to standing yoga with flowing Drew sequences. And then in brackets, think QI Gong meets yoga. I have no idea what that means, but hopefully one of you will. Experience gentle, accessible movement, simple breathing techniques, affirmations, and visualization, ending with guided mindfulness. So to book, you can visit tinyurl.com/events OPE. You can phone the One Place East office or contact Sue on her mobile at 07939 975 763, or you can email runup@oneplaceeast.org. And there is a QR code on the bottom right hand side, which will take you directly to that booking link. I know that we have held Drew Yoga and Mindfulness with Mary before, and it was super, super popular, hence why it's back. So if you came along to that, you might want to return again. Or if you didn't come along and actually it sounds like something that's up your street, please do book. And then the second half of page 7 is a flyer for our One Place East Faith Tour, which again has been featured in previous newsletters. So I know that the first tour we had was tour 1, which was to a Gurdwara in Ilford, which went swimmingly well. And then the second one was meant to be to Regent's Park Mosque, but because of the weather, there was a heat wave that day scheduled, and that was cancelled. That is going to be rescheduled, but we haven't actually got a date for that just yet. But we'll let you know when we have. But tour 3, which was already booked before a month or so ago, is of the Anglican tour at St Mary of Eton in Hackney. So that will be on the 26th of August from 2 to 4pm. And that is learning about the Catholic faith. So meeting point for this is 1 o'clock at the One Place East office. And if you would like to join us on any of our tours or for more information, you can contact the One Place East office number, or you can email info@oneplaceeast.org. And just to mention, there are a limited number of places on each of the tours. So we only have 20 places available. So if you are interested, obviously contact us and let us know. And that is the end of page 7. Page 8 is for our Roots to Activity projects. So top of the page is the same image that was used as last month, because it's such a beautiful image, I could not use it again. And that is of about, I'd say, 15 to 16 people. I think it was taken in Valentine's Park from looking at the surroundings. And literally every single person in the image is smiling. They are all wearing, well, not all of them, but majority of people are wearing really vibrant colours. There's like some Hawaiian shirts going on here. There's so much vibrance in the photo. It's beautiful. And they're all looking at the camera and smiling, as I said. So it says, get walking with us this summer. There's a Roots to Activity project logo, which is of 3 people, 3 stick man sort of symbols and 1 wheelchair user. One of the stick men has a walking stick. So I think the image is meant to kind of show that this project is for absolutely everybody of all ages and abilities. It says, join the walk, share the journey. So this is our walking programme, offering a great way to stay active, meet new people and enjoy the outdoors together. So we have short walks and long walks. So the upcoming short walks, the first is Monday the 24th of August, and that is at 1 p.m. meeting at Loxford Polyclinic. And the short walks, just to mention before, are from whatever location is the meeting point back to the One Place East office for a cup of tea and a biscuit. So yeah, Monday the 24th at 1, meeting at Loxford Polyclinic, or Tuesday the 1st of September at 1 o'clock, meeting at Manor Park Station. And then our upcoming long walk, we have our Fairlop Nature Walk, which is Wednesday the 19th of August, and they are about 3 hours. So the meeting place is Fairlop Tube Station, and again, we'll walk back to the One Place East office. So Andy has said it will take probably 2.5 to 3 hours. For more information or to register your interest, please contact Andy Murphy on the One Place East office number, or you can email andy.murphy@oneplaceeast.org. We would love to see you there. And then just underneath that, we have a project of One Place East logo, and then funded by Transport for London logo and London Marathon Foundation inspiring activity. There are going to be some further long walks and short walks taking place in September and beyond, but we're just finalising the meeting points and the dates of all of those. So look out for those in our September newsletter. And that is the end of page 8. Okay, so page 9 is the start of our One Place East for Change updates. So we have accessible transport event with a white One Place East logo above it, which is in like a very light blue text box. On the left-hand side of the top, we have a Comcab, it's a black taxi, and I've whacked a Comcab logo on top of it. And then on the right-hand side, we have the Dinoride logo. And underneath, it says Community Voice Influencing Change. So you may have seen in our last newsletter, we had an accessible transport event that took place in July, on the 28th, I believe, of July. So this is a report feeding back on how that went, what happened, and how you can get involved in future. So One Place East accessible transport event brought together concerns, experiences and ideas raised through our service user networks, including Run Up, Site Support, One Place Voice and the Wheelchair Forum. The event was organised jointly with One Place East for Change to create a space where disabled people could raise the issues that matter most to them directly with transport providers and decision makers. Special thanks to Aways Niaz and Rupal Mehta for inviting key speakers along on the day. So it's done in sections. So the first section is Comcabs, so responding to the real experiences of passengers. The first session featured Tony Marston and Alan McDonald from Comcabs, who gave an overview of the taxi card scheme and answered a wide range of questions from attendees. One of the main discussions centred on increasing the number of taxi card swipes that can be used for a single journey. This would enable passengers travelling longer distances to make greater use of the scheme, although any change would require agreement and additional funding from the local authorities that support the service. Attendees also raised concerns about the availability of accessible vehicles. Tony and Alan explained that the scheme relies on licensed London black cabs, as these are fully wheelchair accessible. While this ensures a high standard of accessibility, it can also mean that accessible vehicles are not always readily available, particularly during busy periods. And underneath that, there's an image, of the day, which is sat from behind the people that are in the audience. And you can see that there are 2 men, which I assume are Alan and Tony, and then Erica from One Place East at the front of the room. So you can't see any of the audience's faces because obviously it's taken from the back of their head. But I know it was a very well attended event, and I can tell that from the photo. So that is the end of page 9, but continuing on because Comcabs continues on to page 10. So thanks to Alan and Tony for sharing details of the taxi card scheme, which you can access via the QR code, or you can ask for a paper copy at the office. Am I eligible for a taxi card? Taxi card is for people with long-term mobility difficulty or severe sight impairment, which makes it difficult for them to use mainstream public transport such as tubes, buses and trains. Long term means that the effect of difficulty has lasted or is likely to last for at least 12 months. So on the right hand side of that, there is a QR code that can be scanned that will take you to the taxi card website. And then underneath CEC My Care Card, we were really pleased to welcome Balaj Baig to the meeting from CEC My Care. Balaj was able to let people know about the great free My Care card his taxi company are offering to support elderly, disabled and assisted passengers with more affordable local travel. Local journeys start from £3.50 and £1 per mile up to and miles. One Place East are hoping to be able to offer cards for those eligible from the office, but you can also apply for one directly online. And then on the right hand side of that, there is also a QR code which can be scanned, which will take you to an online form to be completed for a CEC My Care card. And then underneath that, we have the Transport for London update. So the TfL logo, obviously, to the right-hand side, and then promoting independence for accessible transport. The event also welcomed Brian Gordon from Transport for London's travel mentoring service, who spoke about the free one-to-one support available to help disabled and older people gain confidence using the London's public transport network. The service enables people to plan journeys, build their skills and travel more independently. The final presentation was delivered by Karen Rogers from Dial-A-Ride, who explained how the door-to-door service supports people who are unable to use mainstream public transport. Karen answered questions about eligibility, booking journeys and the practical support the service provides to help people remain active and connected within their communities. For further information, please contact Transport for London, or you can phone 0343 222 1234, or you can visit tfl.gov.uk/help-and-contact. Right, and that is the end of page 10, but moving into page 11. So the event generated lively discussion and provided attendees with the opportunity to raise issues directly with transport providers. We would like to thank all of our speakers for giving their time and expertise, and everyone who attended and contributed to such a constructive and informative event. Although Redbridge Council passenger services were unable to join us on the day, we look forward to inviting them to a future event to hear directly from our community. And then underneath that, it says, just to mention, the transport application support is available with the One Place East Tech Assistance Project. So during the meetings, attendees were reminded that support is available. The project helps people with disabilities access transport services that make travelling easier and more independent. This includes support with completing and submitting applications for services such as Dial-A-Ride, Taxi Card, Redbridge Mobility, Freedom Pass and Blue Badge schemes. Applying for these services can sometimes be confusing or time-consuming, but the TAP team is on hand to provide guidance throughout the process. Anyone who would like support with transport-related applications is encouraged to contact Aways Niaz or the One Place East office on 0208 925 2435, or you can email aways.niaz@oneplaceeast.org for assistance. So continuing on, that's the end of the transport, accessible transport event. But One Place East for Change, the project involved in mainly leading that, also have been doing work around the Thames review for PIP. So this is just an update for what has been happening with that. So disabled people leading change through lived experiences, voice and action. So the Thames review of personal independence payment, in brackets PIP, has concluded that the current system is not fit for purpose, highlighting concerns about a process that many disabled people find stressful, dehumanising and poorly suited to reflecting the reality living with a disability. The review calls for significant reform to create a fairer and more effective system. At the same time, the government has made clear that reducing the long-term welfare bill remains a priority. Prime Minister Andy Burnham has said that reform should focus on supporting more people into work where possible. Further proposals are later expected this year, following the final recommendations of the Thames review. One Place East will continue to monitor developments closely and ensure that the voices and experiences of disabled people remain central to the debate. We will keep members informed as further details emerge and provide opportunity to discuss what the changes could mean for our community. So you can read further details about the Timms Review on the government website at gov.uk, or you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of the page. And that is the end of pages 9, 10 and 11. So page 12 is also One Places for Change. So I should have included that with that. But this is for next steps. So disabled people leading change through lived experiences, voice and action. So the accessible transport event was just the beginning. Through One Places for Change, we will continue the conversation by exploring how lived experience can be turned into action, with future campaigns meetings focusing on ideas, strategies and ways to influence change. Over the coming months, we hope to welcome experienced campaigners who will share their knowledge, offer practical advice and inspire new approaches to making our voices heard. We are now looking for community members who want to be a part of that journey. Whether your passion is housing, benefits, transport, access to health and social care, education, employment or something different altogether, we want to hear from people with lived experience who are committed to making a difference. No previous campaigning experience is needed, just a willingness to share your experiences and work alongside others. Together, we can identify priorities, shape campaigns, influence decision makers, and lead positive change across our communities. So upcoming meetings, for our campaigns meeting, we have the 4th of August, the 18th of August, the 2nd of September and the 22nd of September. So they are all from 2 to 4 p.m, at the One Place East office. And then for our information sharing meetings, we have the 25th of August and the 9th of September, again from 2 to 4 p.m. at the One Place East office. For more information about the project or to get involved, please contact Erica at the One Place East office number, or you can email erica.miles, that's erica.miles at oneplaceeast.org. And that is the end of page 12 and of the One Places for Change updates. Page 13 is of our One Places recurring events. So from top to bottom, we have our Reminiscence group, which is held on Mondays from 2 to 4 p.m. at the One Places office. So they're a very friendly group. They meet up obviously weekly. They do have outings that they go out on as well. So I know recently they went to Greenwich. They've previously been to the Barbican and other places within London. So if you're looking for a warm space and a friendly group to just build friendships with through shared experiences, do try and go along to that. Then we have our One Places pop-up at Redbridge Central Library, which is usually on Tuesdays from 11 till 1. But because of the summer holidays, when it's not term time, we don't get the space at the library. So we won't be there until schools go back at the start of September. So don't pop down to the library throughout August, basically, is what I'm saying. Then we have our creative workshops, which happen on Thursdays from 10:30 till 3:30 at the One Place East office. So that's for anybody who is creative or wants to get creative. Then our One Place East gaming group meets on Wednesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. at the One Place East office. So that is not just PS5 and Nintendo Switch, that's also board games, card games, whatever sort of game you like, I'm sure we've got it in. Again, very big group, but very beautiful group. So if you are a gamer in any form, please do try and pop down to that. Then on a Thursday at 12 o'clock, we have our Proper Blokes Club and One Places Partnership Walk meeting at Ilford Station. And that is for men who would like some peer-to-peer support. They literally meet up, go on a walk for about an hour, quite often come back to the office and have a cup of tea after or during. So if you would like to get more active and just make some friends, do try go along to that. Then we have our Calming the Mind and Body, which is an online workshop. That will be held on the 22nd of August, which is a Saturday, from 3 to 5 p.m. via Zoom. So that is for anybody that is suffering from overwhelm, anxiety, depression, PTSD, chronic health conditions, or people just wanting to fully relax, unwind, and connect with yourself and others. Then we have our site support group monthly meeting. The next will be on Tuesday, the 1st of September, from 11 till 1 p.m. at Redbridge Central Library. And I know that Awais did let me know that the guest speaker for September's meeting will be two ladies, I believe, from Colours of Redbridge. So if you would like to book, please do contact Awais. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have our One Places LD group meeting, which will be on Tuesday the 8th of September between 4 and 6 p.m. at the One Place East office. So that is for anybody who lives within the London Borough of Redbridge who has a learning disability. And that is the end of our recurring events and of page 13. Page 14 is split into two sections. So top half is Isle of Wight camping trip planning day. So there is an image at the top, which, I mean, I did try find. I believe is of the Isle of Wight. It might not be, but it's basically some rocks to the left-hand side and then like a sea. So, yeah, hopefully it's the Isle of Wight, but if it's not, then I'm sure it looks similar. So for everyone booked onto our Isle of Wight camping trip, so we have an annual camping trip that this will be our third year this year. So if you are booked, or I feel there might still be spaces if people are still interested. Do contact Margaret or Erica. So we've got a planning day set for Wednesday the 19th of August. So that is for planning and preparation. So it's an opportunity to complete your registration forms, discuss the activities you would like to take part in, and share any meal requirements, dietary needs, or food preferences. So we have half an hour appointments booked throughout the day from 9:30 till 4:30. So let us know if you would like to come along, and contact Erica at the One Place East office number or email her, just so that she can book in a slot that works for you, so they can make sure that everything is in place for a great trip. So yeah, I don't know for definite, but I'm pretty certain that there are still places if people did want to go. But equally, if you are already booked and you've, paid your deposit and whatever, please do make sure you book in for that day, so that you can make sure everything is done beforehand, because it's not long now at all. And then underneath that, we have your say in the Redbridge Neighbourhood Survey. So on the left, there's a logo for Redbridge, Barking and Havering Age UK. So at One Place East, we're proud to support Age UK in encouraging local residents to share their views about life in Redbridge through the new Redbridge Neighbourhood Survey. This is an opportunity for people of all ages to speak up about the issues that affect their daily lives and help shape the future of our borough. Whether your concerns relate to crime and antisocial behaviour, fly tipping, litter, road safety, housing, parking, public transport, local parks, or access to essential services, your experiences matter. That was a mouthful. Too often, important decisions are made without a full understanding of the challenges faced by local communities. By taking part in this survey, you can help ensure that the voices of Redbridge residents are heard loud and clear. The information collected will help identify the issues that matter most to local people and provide valuable evidence to support discussions with the council and other organisations responsible for delivering services across the borough. Together, we can work towards creating a safer, cleaner and stronger Redbridge for everybody. We encourage all residents to take a few minutes to complete the survey and share their views. Every response makes a difference and helps build a clearer picture of what our communities need most. You can take the survey by scanning the QR code to the right-hand side at the bottom of the page, or you can visit tinyurl.com/Age UK Neighbourhood. Thank you for taking part and helping shape a safer, cleaner and stronger Redbridge for everyone. And that is the end of page 14. So page 15 is split into two parts. So top part, we have our run-up service user network meeting. The next meeting will be held on Monday the 17th of August from 6 till 7:30 p.m. online via Zoom. The topic will be movement and mindfulness, and the guest speaker will be Mary Griffiths, who was featured earlier on in the newsletter for the Drew Yoga. So this is a very similar thing. So it's introducing you to the benefits of mindfulness and movement, guiding you through gentle, accessible, seated to standing movement using flowing Drew sequences, simple breathing techniques, visualization and presence. A practical, fun, well-being session suitable for all ages and abilities, and no previous experience is required. To book, you can visit tinyurl.com/events OPE. You can phone the One Place East office, Sue on her mobile at 07939 975 763, or you can email runup@oneplaces.org. And there is a QR code on the bottom right hand side of that flyer to take you directly to the booking link. And then underneath we have the flyer for our recovery focus group, which is a unique and interactive trauma-informed support group. That is always held on Wednesdays, online via Zoom from 6 till 8 p.m. So if you're feeling stressed and finding it hard to cope, then why not join our educational peer group supporting women who want to learn new ways to deal with the impact of stress and trauma on their physical and mental health and well-being. A safe space for women to connect with like-minded others, to learn techniques and strategies to support themselves and relieve the pressures of life. So to express your interest, visit tinyurl.com/events OPE. Again, you can contact the One Place East office, Sue on her mobile, or you can email runup@oneplaceeast.org. And again, there is a QR code on the bottom right-hand side of that flyer, which will take you directly to the booking link. And that is the end of page 15. Page 16 is the last page of the newsletter, you'll be pleased to hear. So top half of the page is a flyer for our Disability Festival in the Park feedback meeting, which says your feedback helps shape our festival. So we've got a Disability Festival in the Park logo to the top left, which is the word disability in every letter is in a different colour, very bright colours, and then Festival in the Park underneath. On the right hand side we have a purple circle with white text inside which reads your voice matters. There is an image of two hands holding three different faces. We have a green smiley face, a yellow straight face and a red sad face. And it says, let's reflect, share ideas and plan for an even better festival for 2027. So that will be held on Wednesday the 2nd of September from 12 till 3 p.m. at the Kenneth Moore Theatre. Lunch will be provided, so booking is required. You can register by email at info@disabilityfestival.co.uk. You can do it via the website at disabilityfestival.co.uk, or you can phone the One Place East office on 0208 925 2435. Please do follow us on Facebook at Disability Festival in the Park on both Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, if you came along to the festival, or even if you didn't and you want to have a say about next year, please do book to come along to our feedback meeting. And then underneath that, as always, we have the advert for our One Place East Talking newsletter, which I always say I won't go into because I don't need to, because you're listening to me now. So you obviously know about it, but it's just letting others know that it exists if they want to access it. And then we have Save Paper, Save Trees to try and encourage people who get the postal version to consider signing up for email if they're able to. Then we have our social media handle at One Place East for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Spotify and YouTube logos. And then we have our funders, which I will go through because they've recently changed. So we have London Borough of Redbridge, North East London, which is Health Inequalities Fund, the London Community Foundation, which is Tell Us, the Doley Cart Charitable Trust, the Community Fund Awards for All, the NHS North East London Cancer Alliance, Transport for London and London Marathon Foundation, the London Borough of Redbridge Community Infrastructure Levy, who actually funded the festival through One Place East, and then lastly but not least, Lloyds Bank Foundation for England and Wales. And then underneath that, we have our registered office, our registered charity number, our company limited by guarantee number, and the fact that the newsletter is produced by myself. And that is the end of page 16 and of this month's One Place East newsletter. So thank you for listening to this month's Talking newsletter. If you would like any more information on anything included, or you would like support with booking, please do contact the One Place East office on 0208 925 2435. You can email info@oneplaceeast.org, or if you prefer to communicate via mobile, WhatsApp, text, etc., you can contact me on my mobile at 07944 119 899. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you all again in September. Take care.